so this next record, so again, I'd pre-ordered this, and it's one of my favourite tracks of one of my favourite bands, the band being Soft Cell. The record I'm talking about is Martin, Soft Cell Martin. Now, they've released Martin, they released it on Halloween, which is really appropriate, because Martin was based on the George Romero film Martin, about a vampire, which is great. So it's strictly limited to 500 copies, so well done to anyone who's got it out there, because this is definitely going to be a collector's item. It also comes with a double-sided art print featuring a brand new Martin artwork from designer James McWilliam. And basically on the back, it says here, artwork by Martin, of Martin Dumollard. Can't pronounce that. But he is a serial killer from the 1800s. So the image is a painting on him, a serial killer from the 1800s. But the song was influenced by a George Romero film called Martin, a vampire film that came out in the 80s. So originally, Martin wasn't available on the Art of Falling Apart, which I'm going to do a video next for 42nd anniversary for that. But it wasn't included on the album, but it was on one side. It was one side of a bonus 12-inch that was released as a part of the original The Art of Falling Apart in 1983. So we did get that original one. You got a 12-inch, and one of the tracks was Martin. I wasn't sure. I'm not quite sure what was on the other side. I think it might be Ghost Rider, which they've released as a 12-inch as well. So Martin has become one of the most popular enduring soft cell deep cuts. He's one of my favourites. A mainstay of soft cell live gigs since his original release. It remains today a cult classic, revered by alternative music fans and one of the all-time biggest dancefloor fillers of the Gothic movement. And it's such a dark track, and it's one of my favourite tracks. I mean, The Art of Falling Apart, we're going to talk about it in a minute, but it is my favourite soft cell album because of how dark it was. And this is definitely a dark track. As I said, it's a limited edition. It's a deluxe black and red 12-inch vinyl, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which is awesome. It's also been it's available on digital platforms. What's on here is really good. So you've got A1, the Martin, the Dave Ball Halloween remix. Rest in peace, Dave Ball. He passed since this came out. Passed before I did this video. And what a great artist he was. What a great producer. I know, it's so sad that he's no longer with us. And I know Marc will be missing him terribly. And what a shock. Just as about to release a new album. And, I was genuinely upset hearing that David passed, because I've met him quite a few times over the years, obviously working with Marc. But I'd also met him when I was in a band called The Droids. Because one of the guys in The Droids, Richard Norris, famous Richard Norris, was in a band called The Grid with Dave Ball as well. So our paths always kind of crossed. And what a loss. But here we have Dave Ball's Halloween remix, which is incredible, as ever, as you'd expect. Number 2 is Dave Ball's Halloween dub. I always liked dub versions, and one of the things I really liked about Soft Cell was there'd always be a kind of pulled apart, kind of extended mixes, and I loved that when it comes to Soft Cell. And then B1, you've got Martin, the Hacker remix. Now, Hacker is one of my favourite dance music producers, and we were so lucky to get a remix of him really recently. But I know he's done a few remixes for them now, and every one of them are just outstanding. And this is, exactly the same. It's incredible. I love the Hacker, and the fact that he's done another remix for them is just insane. And then the final track is Dave Ball's Night Wreckage remix. They're all really good versions of Martin, for sure. But I have to say my favourite is the Hacker mix. Because I'm just a massive fan of the Hacker, and he understands soft cell, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've gone back to him a few times. I think he may have done like 3 remixes for them now, so I understand why they keep going back to him, because he just understands electronic music and he understands soft cell. But I'm so glad to have this. I mean, that's the front. I mean, what a crazy artwork with the classic old soft cell logo. Martin, the back is like this. An extension of the front, but inside this, because there's only 500 cut, and it's really like heavy card, you get the print as well. I mean, look how scary that looks. Great Halloween image. And then the back, you get the eye, which is brilliant. I'm not sure which one I'd have, but it's really a thick card. They've really put a lot of money into this. It's not like a thin flimsy, as some of them do. This is nice and thick. Now, the vinyl is the best part about this. So the labels, again, you've got the eye on one side, the eye on the B side, different tracks, but the vinyl is gorgeous. I'll pull it out. Look at that. So it's red, but it's got splats of black in it as well, which I love. If you can see that there, how good is that? Brilliant. And I'm so glad to have this. They also released Ghost Rider, which I think may have been the other track that was on the 12-inch that came with the original release of The Art of Falling Apart, on different colour vinyl, Ghost Rider, but I didn't get that one. It's not a track that I know that well. I've had to get one. I've got to save money somewhere. There's just been so many records coming out over the last month. I mean, from The Art of Falling Apart, I bought the CD, bought the vinyl, bought this, there's just so much coming out. I just had to make a choice. Which one do I want? And I chose mine. And thank God it did. But there was another 12-inch came out at the same time, Ghost Rider, on different colour vinyl. So that is limited to 500 copies. Is soft sell mine, including the hacker mix on red and black vinyl, and you also get a 12-inch print of the artwork as well, from James McWilliam. So if you haven't heard this, go and check it out. If you can get hold of a copy, go and check it out. Thank you very much, and thank you Soft Cell, and rest in peace Dave Ball. Your music will live on. Thank you very much.